The class is over, the sessions are all over, but we are going to have a recap of what we have been doing in the last 4 days, and I thought better than me starting off by saying the recap, because I've been speaking so much the last 4 days and speaking, and it gets boring at some point for you and me. So let's start off by asking you to give a recap of what you have learned during these last 4 days in general.
So who is gonna say? Arav, yes. Arav. Okay, Adavan, maybe you are a student of the class. Maybe you can start. No, you just have to hold.
Yeah, because putting it on everyone will take a lot of time.
What do I have to?
What did you learn in the last 5 days?
I improved my calculation a lot. I didn't know I could calculate. However, I calculated last 2 days, and I also improved my understanding, my mindset for tournaments going forward.
Come on, Arav.
It's the prompt. The same prompt.
The what?
Same prompt.
Yes,
The same prompt, yeah.
So I learned like more understanding of the chess game, and I've also realized like even though if I take a big break from chess, I just have to revise everything that I've done before and I'll remember it and I can continue playing my chess. Okay, that's on to the next person.
I learned some puzzles that helped with calculation. We also did some strategy with world champion games, and we did a tournament too.
I learned to always play for a win against high-rated players. Even if you blunder a move and you miss a move, you just play the game, try to save the game, and save it.
I learned grandmaster psychology they use on lower rated players to try to hold bad positions or win the bad position, and I also improved calculation.
Just speak, yeah.
Hello. I learned that stronger players are better at pattern recognition as they get stronger.
I improved at calculation a lot, and
Calculation. Sure.
I learned that even if you don't have a good position, you should be optimistic and give strong resistance. Like Hikaru, he just keeps making moves, and you should be psychologically strong even in bad positions.
I learned the important part about psychology. Like when you are trying to play against lower rated players, you generally try to complicate the positions and generally try to make them uncomfortable. And against higher rated players, you try, if you are in a worse position, you try to forget your mistakes that you made, and you try to move forward with the position and try to put the strongest resistance you can. That's what I learned mainly.
Kritika?
Okay, so like what I learned from this camp was that we covered a lot of things, the psychological aspect and also the calculation part, and I'd say I improved my calculation with this, like my solving skills, and also got to know about the psychological aspects in the game, which kind of like expanded my knowledge overall in general, and yeah, I had a good time.
I learned about how to handle pressure in tournaments, and like how you focus on things that are in your control and not on things that are out of your control.
What did you learn in the last time?
Yeah, the positions were really tough. I've only got a few of them. This camp taught me that I have so much more to improve and grow. I also improved my calculation.
Yeah, for me, I improved in multiple aspects, but basically the main part I improved was calculation. Before I came here, I didn't really know I could solve positions that well. I used to not get that deep. Sometimes I would miss candidate moves. This camp really helped me a lot in that.
So I learned how to convert positions in winning positions into a winning game. So that was my weakest part. I would always get better positions and I would lose or draw the games. Also, I learned how to find candidate moves which I was not used to it, and yeah, this camp really helped me a lot.
Ever since I became 2100, I always had this doubt, like how to win. When I was 1400, I could just easily win when they make blunders. But once I reached 2100, no one was making blunders, and it was like really tough. Like you had to convert yourself. So from then I started playing for equality, like for draw. And unless they make a mistake, I mean they try for overtry for win, I will just play for equality, and if they overtry, I'll just win it. But after some feedback session with Srinath sir, I understood that it is not always about trying for equality. You won't actually improve if you play for draw, and even if you lose some of the games, you will improve in your more aspects as well. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for all the answers, everyone. Teachers have this little trick when they don't remember the answer for something, they let the students answer it. So that's what I did here. I think we covered so many things in these last 4 days that I was a bit worried about missing something. And but yeah, to recap, we started with the topic of pattern recognition, which I felt is the building block for learning anything or to function as a person in a day-to-day life. And I must say that what we experienced in these 4 days cannot really be summarized in 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. If we could, it would be a YouTube video, we wouldn't have a camp. But starting with the pattern recognition, which I wanted to set the base, because that explains why we did everything else from there on, to all the things that we tried to learn in an experiential way. Everything was built around that. We started with pattern recognition, then I gave some really tough calculation positions to see how high the ceiling can go in the camp, and also at what levels everyone was, to try and customize the next few positions, next few days, which is why I never announce the topics or the plan beforehand, because it completely depends on the students who turn up and how they respond on the day one. And then from starting with pattern recognition, which explained how your understanding gets formed, and which explains how you get this thought of a move in any position, to calculation, which builds over a sequence of moves. We started exploring how those decisions come together, how you use your calculation, your evaluation, and all the knowledge that you have to make those decisions, and how it gets combined together. So that was the next topic. And then we came to this topic of defense, which combined a lot of element of psychology between two players and how that determines how we play, the moves we make, how we respond, to a lot of conversion. And the thing that I kept emphasizing on calculation, which I will continue to do so, but where I saw some improvement, but there is still a lot of room for improvement, is finding your opponent's best moves in calculation, because we are always eager to prove our point right, whether it's calculation or an argument, but the other person also has their perspective, and in a game of chess they will generally find the strongest moves if it's their turn to play. So it's always better to find it yourself first before your opponent surprises you with it. And quite often the difference between two equally good looking moves gets decided on how strong the response is for one of the moves. So that skill is maybe the fundamentally most important skill that I try to train here, and something that I felt everyone was getting better as the camp progressed, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. The second aspect that I wanted to emphasize on is I love the attitude everyone showed in this camp. Everyone was not getting tired. It was an extremely intense camp, a lot of hours, a lot of things to do. There was a camp, there was a tournament, but still people were not visibly getting tired, and people kept going from first hour to the last hour with a lot of enthusiasm. I would like you to continue this enthusiasm even when we are not working together in an environment like this. Even when you are alone working on chess, 80 to 90% of the time you will have to work alone to get better. The only 10 to 20% of the time you will find groups, you will find other people. Ultimately it has to come from your own independently, and that is also the things that I was striving to transfer the knowledge, to also build a certain amount of self-awareness of where you stand and what are the things that you need to improve, not always depending on the input of a coach or getting motivation from external stimuli, but to be able to spend that time on your own and work on the things that you want to improve, identify the things that you want to improve, doing all these things. And in this aspect, I feel in terms of your general knowledge of games and chess positions, I do feel there's a lot of room for improvement for everyone around this camp. We saw a few very, very popular classics starting with Reshevsky Petrosian, which not a lot of people knew here, but that's totally okay. You don't need to know, you don't even need to know who a Petrosian or Botvinnik is. You just need to know the positions they played and the moves that came in those games. And if you didn't see it in their games, to know that pattern through some other games, that's totally fine. But I think it's also important to be aware and familiar with the things that are going on every day, the top games which are being played every day. And this is something that gets automatically incorporated into a chess player's routine out of curiosity. Like how normal people scroll through Instagram and Twitter feeds. Similarly, it becomes a very normal part of day to day for top professionals in chess to just be aware of what the top games are, what everyone is playing, which tournament is going on, and all those things. And here, for example, when I showed a few contemporary games which were recently popular, there also I found that a lot of examples were unfamiliar. So these things, I feel there is a lot of room for improvement, which is again why I started with pattern recognition and how important that is, because you get these little nuggets of patterns from everything that you pay attention to. It can be from the game that you play in a couple of hours, it can be from the games that you see after going back. It comes from a variety of sources. So to be curious, to always automatically see what's going on and learn from those players, I think is it's very important and will definitely help get better. So yeah, again, I don't wish to repeat too many times what I've already enumerated during the course of the camp, because that also gets boring, and the more boring something becomes, the less attention we pay towards. The more fun something is, the more we enjoy, the more attention we pay towards. So after enumerating these things, I'll conclude at this point.
हाँ